What's critical, though, is you've got to be someone at 40, 50, or 60 that's open for ideas, that's curious, that's playing. You can't go out there as an old crotchety,
This is the way we
person
did
with
it.
fixed ideas. That ain't gonna sell.
Did you push record?
Thanks so much for tuning in again to our second act with Paige and Silka. I want to welcome Darrell Gurney back to our program today. Darrell, thanks so much for joining us again.
Glad to be with you, Silva.
If you missed our previous segments, Darrell, of course, is our in-house career coach. At least in this segment you are. He's the author of The Back 40, a book that's soon to come out, and basically a life and business reinvention coach, although he does point out to me that we're not really reinventing. We are getting into what we were supposed to do. How'd I do, Darrell?
Pretty good. We're getting there. Yeah.
We're laughing because I screwed up like 4 different introductions. So thanks for sticking with me, Darrell. Maybe we'll show those as bloopers. Anyway, on our last segment, we discussed starting over again. What are some practical ways to get back into the marketplace after 50? What I really want to address in this segment is how to establish value for yourself, whether it means a career change or maybe you were a stay-at-home mom or dad and haven't been in the workforce forever. How do we do that and deal with ageism, which exists, is alive and well out there?
Yeah. What's really important first is that you understand your own value before you get out there. So when I work with people, and again, my next book is The Back 40, about creating your second half of life as your best half, and I've been a career coach for 30 years as well, is if we blend these two ideas, that if the first half was just R&D, research and development, your first half of life for what you really came here to do, then what this is an opportunity to do is to look at, well, what are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? What are you interested in? I have a method that I mentioned in the last segment called the stealth or backdoor method of career transition. And what it's based on is definitely not applying for jobs and definitely not be in a beseeching kind of mode. Because the last thing you need right now is to feel like you're out there clawing and begging and scraping. And you definitely don't need the self-esteem demolition that comes from applying for jobs. Okay. So again, the first step is realizing your value. And then how you establish the value is, first off, don't go out to try to prove anything. Okay. Because that will always have you feel intimidated and scared. But what you can do, and what I promote in my career coaching work around this stealth or backdoor method, is reaching out to people based on what you're passionate about for your own research, for what you're into, for what you're looking at exploring, not because you need a job. People won't meet with you if they think you need a job. But if you're going to start a blog, or if you're going to start writing some articles, or you're just doing some research on certain things that interest you, you would be amazed if you approach people the right way, how people will give you 5 or 10 minutes of time. Now, first off, you and I grew up at the same time, Silka, where you heard this on TV. Do not attempt this at home. These are trained professionals. You remember that? So I don't want anybody running off with what I say right now and trying this without really understanding it. And I'll give you, some information in a minute. But the point is, what you want to do is you want to get in front of people and you want to come at them collegially. In other words, you're not trying to get anything. You're not trying to get a job. You're just wanting information. And you would be amazed, Silka, when you treat people like an expert and you say, you're very, I'm watching what you're doing in this area, and I'm kind of interested in these things myself, and I'm writing articles on this or whatever. Could I meet with you? People will give you time. And if you play the human psychology game well, which is get them talking about themselves, get them sharing their experience with you, be fascinated by them. And again, there's some specific ways one goes about a what I call a backdoor or stealth campaign interview. Uh, but the point being is, you'd be amazed when you get out there and you tap into people and you get in front of them. People want to work with people they know and like. People want to help other people. You don't need to say, I'm looking for a job. You just be out there interested. And if you tap into people and the human psychology of them feeling completely like adored by you and their experience, you'd be amazed how people want to give back and they want to try to find ways to help. So again, do not attempt this at home. These are trained professionals. But what I want people to know is that, number one, it's possible to make entire career changes than what you've done in the past. You're not locked into what you've done before. And when it comes to this ageism thing, ageism only exists because people are operating in the ignorance of thinking that someone older won't be as valuable, won't have as much to contribute. When you get in front of people in a backdoor way and they get to know you and there's no pressure, right, and they get to know you and you can contribute ideas and you can have this kind of collegial relationship with people, that ageism thing disappears. People today need the seasoning. They need the views. They need the experience. What's critical, though, and this is what I talk about in the back 40, is you've got to be someone at 40, 50, or 60 that's open for ideas, that's curious, that's playing. You can't go out there as an old crotchety,
this is the way we did it.
Fixed ideas that ain't gonna sell.
Yeah. Well, and I can totally see that would be the biggest objection or the biggest misconception that younger people have, is that, one, we don't have the energy, the dedication. How long will they stay? Is that an issue with finding a new job, if you will?
You mean how long they'll stay?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I think there's a whole lot more security when an individual sees certain talents or sees certain abilities or something like that with someone who's more senior. They're probably going to be a lot more stable than somebody who's younger.
It's going to jump around.
Because here's the thing, early in life, it's about proving ourselves and we're, got to climb that corporate ladder and things like that. Whereas a lot of times people get to a point in life where, again, I'm not advocating not having a big game to play, but maybe you don't necessarily need to be at the top. And maybe it's the contribution and the value you bring. I think there's even more of a sense of stability in that.
Yeah. No, I love.
But again, I think the key though is people realizing that they do have a unique value and finding ways to go connect outside of any need for a job so that people can then see that value for themselves.
Well, I was just going to ask you, how would you wrap up this segment? Because we are getting to the end of it, and that was perfect. So what I want to add is I want to make sure that we linked to all of your information. And you do have some a book or a program that actually teaches people how to do the stealth course. Tell us how to get that.
Sure. If you go to Career Guy, CAREERGUY, careerguy.com/free, there's a few ebooks there. And if you want to incorporate this into this whole idea of the back 40, go to theback40.com/free. There's some ebooks on that topic as well.
Perfect. I'll supply those links in the graphic, and we'll see you next time on Our Second Act with Paige and Silka. So glad you were able to join us today. If you haven't already done so, please just take 1 second and subscribe to our channel. buttons right over here. And for more information about reinventing your life after 50, please visit our website, secondact.tv. See you soon.